All right, Alexis. Do you know what today is?
What today is?
Yes.
It's July 3rd.
It's July 3rd. So what does that make tomorrow?
4th of July, Independence Day.
Yeah, so would you say today is Independence Day's Eve?
I guess.
Yes? It's not as good as Christmas Eve,
No.
apparently. No. Okay. So what do I do with you almost every year since you started getting old enough? What do we talk about? What do we do whenever it gets close to Independence Day? Do we take a quiz?
Oh, right. We do a quiz.
And what is that quiz about?
It's about Independence Day.
Well, it's about civics.
Well, yes, it's about more detailed civics.
Okay, so what is civics?
It's kind of hard to explain.
Civics is how your government works.
Oh.
So, did you know that to become a naturalized citizen, which is a citizen that was born outside the United States, you have to take a test?
Yes, I did.
Did you know that in Oklahoma soon, because the new law passed, you will have to pass a similar test
What?
to get your high school diploma?
Why?
Because that's the law.
What does civics have to do with high school? They don't teach us government.
Well, they used to.
Well, they don't anymore.
Well, I teach you government now.
Well, no one else in my class knows government.
Well, so much the worse for your class, but... So, today is that day. We will continue the tradition. I have pulled up a...
Civics quiz.
Yeah, so 50 questions.
of
All right.
civics.
All right, so, and these are supposedly taken from the bank of questions that a naturalized citizen might be presented when they're taking their test.
I'm
So,
probably going to fail this, honestly.
you've done good before.
I have, but like, doesn't mean I'm going to do
All
it
right,
now.
so, name 3 of the 13 original colonies, and then your choices.
Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina.
Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, we did some of the 13 original colonies, and we did something in history this year.
Very good. All right, so, question 2. The Declaration of Independence. It freed slaves, declared independence from France, declared independence from Great Britain, gave women the right to vote.
It was Britain.
Yes.
Did we ever were we, ever taken over by France?
No.
France took over other places, but not us.
Yeah, just Louisiana, I guess.
Didn't they have Canada?
Parts of Canada,
They
yes.
had parts of Canada.
That's why the people in Quebec still speak French.
Yeah.
All right. First Amendment. Trial by jury, vote, speech, right to bear arms.
Oh, crap.
No, you started. It's finished.
Speech.
Yes.
It's speech.
So, First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, freedom of the press,
And when it was
And-
freedom of religion.
and freedom of religion. Very good. All right, so Americans participate in their democracy by voting and joining civic groups, giving an elected official your opinion on an issue. All of these answers, writing to a newspaper, and calling senators and
I
representatives.
think it's all of it.
Yes,
all
I
of them.
in fact encourage people to write their representatives on issues that are important to them, because that's part of the process. It's not just voting.
It's a process.
So Susan B. Anthony is famous because she fought for women's rights, founded the Red Cross, the first woman elected to the House of Representatives, made the first flag of the United States, or secret answer E, because she is on a dollar-denominated coin, which no one used, which we talked about in another video.
I think it's fought for women's rights.
That is correct.
I know she didn't make the first flag. That was like
Betsy Ross.
and it had the circle of stars.
All right. Please mark the political party of today's president.
Democrat.
Yes, let's see if they've got it updated.
What?
Says wrong.
What? Is it Republican?
Well, they may have it.
Oh. Okay,
This has obviously not been updated.
it's Donald.
Yes,
Donald
Donald.
Trump was the one Republican. This year it's Joe Biden.
The president's cabinet is responsible for commanding the U.S. Armed Forces, making laws, advising the president, or all of the answers.
It's advising the president, isn't it?
Very
Yes.
good. Can you name a cabinet level position?
No.
How about Secretary of Agriculture?
Oh.
There we Yeah.
I think that might have been one of my speeches.
So,
Might have been the one I only had a day to memorize.
What is one of the powers of the states according to our Constitution? Treaties, creating an army, providing schooling and education, or coining or printing money?
Is it? It's either creating. I think it's either the army or making treaties. Is it?
Okay, for the states. So does Oklahoma provide an army?
Okay, no.
Does Oklahoma make
I
treaties?
don't think so. I'm not sure. Does the law?
The rest of the United States may be at war with you, Franz, but we in Oklahoma declare peace. Or maybe it would actually be the opposite. The rest of you surrender monkeys, we declare war on you.
Okay, I just don't know. Do we have to provide school?
Ding, 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 ding.
You have to provide
it
school.
Have to is not. See, power is different from.
Oh.
Yes.
I was about to say, because you act like the school is the most funded part of the. Like, you act like school is where most of our tax money goes.
Well, school does eat up a lot of our tax money, yes.
Well, you know what I mean.
So, the president during World War I was Woodrow Wilson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, or Warren Harding.
I don't know this one. I'm thinking. Was it Franklin Roosevelt?
FDR was president during World War II.
Oh, so then is it Theodore Roosevelt, or was it one of the other two?
I believe it is Woodrow.
It is?
It is Woodrow.
Do you act like they teach us about Woodrow Wilson or Warren Harding?
Yeah, they're not very popular presidents to talk about, but yes.
I feel like they don't teach us about these people.
So, yeah, Theodore, I believe, was pre-World War I.
Okay.
Franklin Roosevelt, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
Yeah.
First part of World War II.
Oh, okay.
So he died, and I believe Harry Truman was his.
Look, if you want to talk about presidents, you might want to talk to like Garrett or Luke.
Yeah.
Like those are two people that know presidents at the school.
All right. Which one of the 4 amendments to the Constitution are about who can vote? Say what now? Mark the description of one of the 4 amendments, the Constitution, about who can vote. Citizens 18 or older, citizens 17 and older, only citizens with a job, only citizens by birth can vote. All right,
citizens 18 or older.
Yes, so it used to be 21. Did you know that?
21. I know 21's like for drinking alcohol or something, but
right,
like,
but that is not a constitutional.
No,
amendment.
it's not a It's just a thing.
The voting age used to be 21,
It did.
and then it lowered to 18.
They just decided let's let 18-year-olds vote now.
Yeah.
Because
the capital of the United States.
Washington.
So what does the DC stand for?
I know this.
District of
Columbia.
Very good.
I thought when you said district, I was like, is it District of Columbia?
Yes.
But I didn't want to get it wrong.
Whenever the capital was founded, part of the reason why it was set up is that they did not want any one state to have control over the capital city.
Oh yeah.
So it has its own little thing that is not a state.
It's the District of Columbia.
It is the District of Columbia, yes.
It's just a thing.
All right. The war fought by the United States in the 1800s. So we've got World War II, Civil War, Korean War, World War I.
I don't know. Is it the...
So only one of these answers can possibly be correct.
Seriously?
Yes.
I just don't know dates.
So
is it...
World War I was like in the 1920s and 30s, kind of.
Well, in the World War II was obviously after that.
Yes,
was it the Civil War?
Yeah, so 40s were Civil War. Korean War was like 50s.
What was it? The Civil War?
Yes, it's the Civil War.
I was torn between that and Korean.
Korean War came after World War II and before Vietnam.
Oh, it did?
Yes. Your grandpa Aubrey fought in both World War II and the Korean War.
Oh, that's cool. I knew World War II. I didn't know the Korean War.
Yes, he was in the Navy on a destroyer during World War II, and then when he got out, he joined the Army Reserve because he thought, surely we'll never have another war in our lifetime.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he wanted to make extra money and ended up getting sent to Korea.
He survived.
He survived. Well, yeah.
I was like...
You met him.
Well, yes, I know.
The Declaration of Independence was written by George
It
Washington.
was Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Very good. All right. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution, the Emancipation Proclamation,
Is it the Declaration of
the
Independence?
Declaration, or the Articles.
It's the Constitution.
It is the
It's
Constitution.
the Constitution. I have trouble sometimes with what, like, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. They're separate documents, right?
They are separate documents.
I think, yeah, they're separate documents, but it's always one or the other. I knew it was the Constitution, but like
So
some
the
people
Declaration-
use them in the same context.
Yeah. So the Declaration of Independence is basically just like, "Hey, Britain, we're breaking up with you."
Like, Britain, screw off.
Yes, middle finger. The Constitution actually lays out the foundations for how the government's going to work. So the Declaration of Independence signed much earlier than the
That's
Constitution.
probably why they're used in similar contexts.
So Constitution sets up the government, defines the government, protects basic rights of Americans or all.
I don't know if it defines the government. That's the only thing that's confusing. Is it the rights of the American? I don't know. I'm gonna say all of them.
All of them is a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know about defining. I guess it does define the government.
The Emancipation Proclamation
Crap.
ended World War I, freed slaves in most southern states, gave women the right to vote, gave the United States independence from Great
Okay, I know
Britain.
it's not the last one. That was literally the Declaration of Independence. I don't know. I'm thinking. Is the Emancipation Proclamation, if it freed slaves in most southern states, that had to be Civil War. I think it's B.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
But I think Emancipation Proclamation, I think we heard about that while we had Civil War shoved down our throat.
Yes. The ocean on the east coast of the United States is the Arctic, the Indian, the Pacific, or the Atlantic.
Is it Pacific? I think it on the East Coast.
Yes.
It's either Indian or Pacific.
Negative, Ghost
It's
Rider.
not. I'm wrong.
It's the Atlantic.
Is the Atlantic? I don't know placement of oceans.
The Atlantic is on the east coast. The
Oh.
Pacific is on the west coast.
Oh.
The Indian Ocean is nowhere near
Well, I
us.
was just
It's-
kind of guessing in
it's
that
by
part.
India.
I was like, it could be east on a different continent.
Okay.
I'm just
I think
saying.
it says on the east coast. On the east coast of the United States.
I didn't think that one. I just knew the Indian Ocean was somewhere, and I was guessing that one.
When one says the Pledge of Allegiance, they show loyalty to the state where they live, the President, Congress, or the United States.
The United States.
Yes.
It even says that.
Name a U.S. territory. Cayman Islands, Bermuda, Guam, or Haiti.
I think is it the Cayman Islands?
It is not the
But
Cayman
how could it
Islands.
be Haiti or?
It is not Haiti.
I was like, it's not Haiti. That's its own thing.
Yes, Haiti is another
And-
country on the island of Hispaniola,
I don't know.
where
isn't
Christopher Columbus landed.
Isn't Bermuda also kind of in its own place, or is that?
Kind of.
It has
So do you know what a U.S. territory is?
Not exactly, but kind of.
It is considered part of the United States. So it is land that is the United States.
Alaska.
Alaska's a state.
Okay, Alaska's a state. I was just confused.
So
it is a state.
A territory is not a state. So
Okay.
it is subject to U.S. laws.
Uh-huh.
And depending on which territory, because there's different laws for each territory, I think, the people that are born there may not be 100% U.S. citizens.
Okay, so it's not a state, but it's still
Right,
under.
so they do not get representation in
Okay,
the...
so yeah, Alaska is a state. So
Right.
it's just separate from the. That's confusing.
Yes,
So it's like a territory that has U.S. laws, but those people technically don't live in the United States.
Well, they do. They live in the United States.
They
They're
do.
subject to U.S. laws. They use U.S. money. They pay U.S. taxes.
Then how are they not citizens?
Well, that is a very good question.
What's that
So they
word?
get some of them are, some of them they have sort of a limited citizenship, like they don't get to vote for president, or maybe they only get to vote for president. Like
I don't know.
you'd have to look it
Is
up.
it Guam?
It is Guam.
I was like, Guam is literally the only other thing. Then
Yes.
That's process of elimination. It can't be Haiti or Bermuda. Not sure what the islands even are.
Yes. So, in World War II, the U.S. fought against what 3 countries?
Okay.
We just talked about this the other day.
It was Japan, Germany, and Italy, right?
That's right. Italy's kind of a...
What do you have against Italy?
They really didn't carry their weight.
Okay, Italy was just kind of there or something. Yeah, I know, obviously, Germany and Japan. Yes, I remember talking. Who was that? We were talking with Papa.
Yes. Yeah. So, name the writers of the Federalist Paper, which supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. So, who wrote the Federalist Papers?
I know this. Was it? Was it Thomas Jefferson or?
I think it's James Madison.
I was like, it was either.
And I am correct.
It was either Thomas Jefferson or James Madison, but like, there's a lot of. Why does everyone's names are just like? It wasn't George Washington. I just figured Thomas Jefferson. He wrote something else. Maybe he wrote.
Yeah,
this.
well, I think he helped. Well, he wrote Declaration of Independence. I think.
Yeah,
and I think he helped draft the Constitution.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just gonna guess it was either him or James Madison.
Yeah, but James Madison wrote the Federalist Papers.
Yeah.
So, one of the problems that led to the Civil War.
Slavery.
Yes.
That's kind of one of the one of the main things about this war.
It's
still slavery.
Still slavery. Westward expansion.
It's still slave. Why don't I just pick slave? That's gonna show if it's wrong.
All right.
Still
a
slavery.
U.S. senator represents all the people of the state legislatures, only the people in the state who voted for the senator, all the people of the state who belongs to the senator's political party.
Oh, that one's kind of hard.
It's really not if you think about it.
Is it? See.
So it's not who voted for them or anything like that. Who does the senator represent?
The people in the state.
Well, all of the people in the state,
yes, all of the people in the state. I was only confused with C because you just said that one weird.
The number of U.S. senators.
Is it 100?
Is it 100? Why is it 100?
I don't know. I just remember that's a number.
How many states are there?
How many states? There's like...
You don't know how many states there are?
50.
There's 50 states. How many senators does each state get?
Oh, they each have 2. That's why it sounded like there's 50 states, but like...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good job.
Well, yes.
I don't know.
Partial credit.
Partial credit?
We'll change this one. We'll get partial credit on that one, too. That one was just a marking area.
I don't like some of those questions. They freak me out. I know the answer, but the pressure is real.
The current president of the United States is...
It's going to say Donald Trump just because this thing is outdated.
Oh, well.
We get partial credit for that one, too.
So...
The name.
Well, the current vice president isn't even a choice.
Mike Pence was...
Yeah, who is the current vice president?
It's Kamala Harris.
Yes. All right. Some states have more representatives than others because geographical size.
Is it population?
It is population. So, yes, the 2 chambers, each state gets 2 senators. Yeah. Doesn't matter how big, how small, how many people.
And there's 50 states.
Yeah, and then the representatives are divvied up by the population.
There's 50 states, 13 original colonies, and there was another number. There was another important number.
Okay. 2 national U.S. holidays. Citizenship Day, Columbus Day, President's Day, Valentine's Day, April Fool's Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving.
Is it Labor Day and Thanksgiving?
Correct.
It feels a little weird, but okay, I knew that one.
The official who vetoes bills is president, vice president.
It's the president.
Okay. A U.S. representative is elected for how many years? 8, 4, 2, or 6?
Just a representative. I don't know.
Yes. So the representative that we vote for, that we send to the U.S. House of Representatives. We vote for them every
2 years.
Yes, very good.
There's always there's an election like every 2 years.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
I was about to give you a hint and you didn't even need it.
No, I just remember.
Right. So, reps 2 years, President, 4 years.
Yeah.
Senator, 6 years.
Okay. And then it's like a judge. It's just like till they...
Judge is lifetime appointment.
Yeah, judge is lifetime, so they can just like resign and then vote for
Or
them.
die.
Or die, I guess,
and
if you
judges
want to be
are appointed. We don't vote for them.
Wait, we don't vote for them?
No.
Oh, they're just like, this is your job now.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess in theory they could also be impeached. So you can remove judges for...
How do you impeach a judge?
There's a process.
I mean, there's a process.
Yeah, so if you got a judge that's doing bad things, then
You
there's a process to remove them from the bench.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Next question.
But, so that structure was created in theory so that they can be politically independent, because I am not, since I have a lifetime appointment, I'm not really subject to any people who elected me or who may or may not re-elect me.
Oh, that's kind of smart.
I'm not subject to a political party. I'm just subject to my own legal interpretations.
I was like, that's smart, but of course, I'm sure everyone has their own opinion, though.
Well,
Like,
yeah. But, I mean, that's the idea of why
like,
it was created.
I get why you wouldn't want them to be like have a certain party and stuff, so they wouldn't be biased.
In theory, their only duty is to interpret the laws the way that they were written.
Okay, let's see.
So really, that should be their only guiding principle: is what is the law.
Okay, this is the easiest president.
Oh yes. So
But like this is like Schoolhouse Rock level stuff.
please mark what you consider to stop one branch of government from becoming too powerful. Checks and balances.
It's called checks and balances.
It is called checks and balances. All right. Abraham Lincoln, what did he do? He saved or preserved the Union, established the United Nations,
Okay,
declared war
it's
on
the
Great
first
Britain.
one.
Yeah, he saved the Union.
But like he didn't establish the United States or declare war, and
Well, that's United Nations.
United Nations, whatever. He didn't do that. But like, who purchased Alaska?
I don't remember who the president
there
was.
was a guy who I don't remember his name. He wasn't Abraham Lincoln. He saved or preserved the Union.
Yeah. Do you remember what country we bought Alaska from?
No.
Russia.
We brought. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
The Constitution was written in 1776, 1787, 1789, or 1790.
Okay, 1776, was that when, or was that just when the war ended?
That is when the war began.
Oh, that's when the war began. Okay, then it was definitely after that. I'm going to say 1787.
It's a good guess.
It's the right guess.
Yes.
I was like, what?
So, yes, 1776 is Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Britain. So, like, that's...
Okay.
Instead of breaking up by text, we broke up by long letter Declaration of Independence.
Okay, yeah. Well, we didn't have text.
Yes. So that's when we
Did
broke
Britain
up.
even, like, read... Did they read the whole Declaration of Independence?
I honestly don't know.
Because I probably would have just skimmed it and been like, okay.
So they're leaving. Okay. Well, I guess we need to fight these unruly treasonous...
I would have just been like, give me that, skimmed it, but like, okay, we're going to war now. Yeah. I don't know if I would read the whole thing.
I don't know if it's a true story or not, but supposedly King George kept a diary.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. When they, like, declared war, his entry said nothing interesting happened today.
Yeah, supposedly on July 4th, yes. Nothing interesting happened today.
Uh-huh. I would consider a war being very interesting.
Well, I guess the news hadn't got to him. Plus, he supposedly was kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, possibly.
All right, the national anthem.
The Star-Spangled Banner?
The Star-Spangled Banner, yes.
You went down.
The main concern of the United States during the Cold War was...
It was not climate change.
It's the Great Depression, climate change, communism, or slavery.
I feel like it was communism.
It is communism.
That's a mildly fair point. We should be concerned about communism, but I feel like we should be concerned about communism, I guess.
It is one of the most evil ideologies ever created. It has led to the death and suffering and the economic destruction of millions upon millions of people. So yes, I would say we should be concerned.
We should be concerned about this. I mean, war sucks, but I mean, at least it wasn't over something stupid.
Well, the Cold War was like not war. Like
okay.
that's why it's the Cold War. So
okay.
I mean,
I was a bit worried.
so technically, Korea and Vietnam are kind of like Cold War adjacent because it was fighting the spread of communism, but the Cold War was really about stopping the spread of communism. But there was a lot less shooting.
Okay. Like
So,
we
yeah.
butt heads a little bit, but we didn't actually.
Yes,
shoot
we were
each other.
competing without actually shooting.
Okay, that's.
But yes,
a good thing.
so communists in Russia and China and places like Vietnam have killed. They killed way more people than the Nazis did.
That's a
Like in each country.
But like, Dad, do you know how high this bar is?
Yes, killed millions of people.
This is a very
Tortured millions of their own people. Drove millions of their own people into starvation because communism as a economic philosophy does not work. Repressed millions upon millions of people.
Man,
Le-
countries are giving the Nazis a run for their money.
Well, we tend
Dang.
not to, for some reason, in general, we tend not to think of communism as evil as the Nazis, but it is absolutely one of the most evil ideologies ever created, and it has led to the death and suffering of millions upon millions of people. Venezuela went from one of the richest South American countries in the world because of communism and socialism. There are different brands
All
of
that
it.
stuff.
Yes.
I think I might have heard something about Venezuela, maybe during like geography.
Well, they went from one of the richest countries in South America to eating the zoo animals because their economy collapsed.
I don't know how zoo animals are gonna sit well.
Yeah,
I mean,
you'd think they'd give you a little bit of upset tummy.
Yeah, this is a foreign animal. Okay.
Okay, anyway.
Next one.
The two major political parties in the United States.
Democrat and Republican.
Democrat and Republican. Yes.
Oh, there was a bull moose party?
That's...
I've heard like Democratic, Republican, Whig, and Democrat and Republican.
Yeah, so Teddy Roosevelt was the bull moose.
Oh, cool.
The flag has 50 stars
The
because...
50 states.
The 50 original colonies. One for each state.
Yeah. That's one way to remember the 50 states.
Federal laws are made by the President, the Supreme Court, Congress, or the states.
Is it federal? Is it the states?
No. Federal is the federal government is the government
okay.
over the states. It's the national government.
Oh, then it's probably... I don't know. Is it the court? Oh, okay. All three of these, I think, come into play sometimes with the laws. I feel like it might be the president because he like does the sign.
So even though the president signs the law, Congress makes the law.
Okay, Congress.
Supreme Court interprets the law.
Yeah.
The executive branch follows and executes the law.
I was like, all three of these have something to do with the laws.
Right. So even though the president signs it, the Congress is considered to be the legislative branch, the law-making branch. And so, like I said, they make the laws. The Supreme Court determines the disputes between various laws and interprets the laws, and then the president is the head of the executive branch. The executive branch actually puts the laws into motion.
Okay, that one was just confusing because I'm like, but they all do stuff.
How many justices are on the Supreme Court?
I feel like it's 10.
So do you think it's an even number?
It's probably 9 then.
You think it's 9? You know, why would it not be an even number?
Because you have to have a deciding vote. So I was like, if it's an even number, it's 10. If it's not, it's 9.
It's 9.
It's 9.
Try not to have ties.
We try not to have even numbers.
The role of the judicial branch is to resolve disputes, decide if a law goes against the Constitution, review laws, or all of the above.
I think it's all of them.
It is all of them.
All of them.
Please mark the event that happened on September 11th, 2001.
9/11? Like...
Well, what was 9/11?
Okay. The terrorist attack on the United States. I was like, just by the date, you know it's 9/11 and that's the terrorist attack.
Yes. Who becomes president if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve?
Is it the Speaker of the House?
It is the Speaker of the House. Very good.
Don't they always have like one person in some other location? To make sure
there are some.
There's like some cases.
Yes, there are contingencies. Supposedly, I've never read a lot of the official stuff. There's supposedly what's called a designated survivor. So
yeah, I heard about that. We talked about this once in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the subject of a TV show. I don't know how true to life it is,
Well, we
but
just talked about
supposedly
this once
there
in
is
history.
one person in the chain of, it's not Succession, I think. Maybe it is called Succession.
Maybe it is. Either way, in that chain, that is always like not with the group, so
Yes.
they will become the president. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
so that's for like if something happens to a joint session of Congress where all the senators and all the representatives are listening to the president speak or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Supposedly there's stuff like that. I don't know if that's
I don't
TV show device or if it's
I don't make the
apocryphal or-
rules. I don't make the rules. I don't know how this works.
Martin Luther King. Civil rights, women's suffrage.
Civil rights.
Yes, civil rights.
Everyone knows this one. First 10 amendments. Is it the first 10? Is that the Articles of Confederation or is it the Bill of Rights?
Which one do you think it?
I think it's the Articles of Confederation.
So the Articles of Confederation are sort of like a practice constitution that they tried to.
Oh, then it is the Bill of Rights.
Yes. The Articles of Confederation were, the states were much looser.
Oh.
And they ended up sort of not going with it strong.
It was an idea.
Yes. So the Constitution creates a stronger central government than the Articles of Confederation.
I don't know. It says Confederation. Did that have something to do with the Civil War, or was this before that?
This is before that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. The first president was George Washington. We can ask Aubrey that one.
Father of our country. Hashtag lawnmower.
Is that also George Washington?
That's also George Washington. The economic of the system of the United States is capitalist,
None of
socialist,
those.
communist, none of these.
I don't think it's any, but if it was, wait a sec. I don't think it's any. We're like it might be so. I don't know. It's not any.
Well, it's drifting towards more socialism, but we are supposed to be a
Oh, we are.
capitalist.
I was probably thinking of one of the other forms, like I don't know, like democratic something. I remember we went over government in one class.
So this is economic system.
Oh,
so
I'm thinking of other.
The government system is what's called a representative democracy or a republic.
Okay, I was thinking of that. This is economic, then it is capitalist. I was like, I don't think we're socialist.
Yes. The two rights in the Declaration of Independence are
life, liberty. Wait. Is it even... It's there. Oh, the two rights in this life and the pursuit of happiness, I think. Or is it? Because it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's 3. They say 3 things.
Our score, 97%.
What did we get wrong?
Well, we had some...
Oh, okay. We did have some partial credit. We had some partial credit.
All right. So we have completed our annual tradition, and the lawnmower is gonna cut us off if we don't stop now. So what do we say?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All right.